to the Engerati studio live at European Utility Week. I'm Rose and I'm joined now by Blanca Losada, CTO of Gas Natural Fenosa in Spain. Thank you so much, Blanca, for joining us.
You're welcome, thank you.
Can we start by asking you a little bit about your role at Gas Natural Fenosa? Please tell us.
Okay. Well, within my company, I am responsible for technological innovation in my role as CTO, and I also I am the director for the engineering branch of the company. Within Spain, I chair the Spanish platform for smart grids, and I also have some connections with the university, being at the moment Vice President of the Social Council of the Polytechnic University of Madrid.
Okay, so I'm sure it was all those reasons why you were invited today to be on the panel.
I don't know, but I have felt really well, and it has been very, very funny and interesting to share the opinions with all the rest of panelists.
You're on a panel here at the event discussing the energy revolution,
yes.
What it means. Can you just recap on that panel discussion, the main points that were coming through?
The main points of the whole panel, I think, some of the discussion has been if this is a revolution or a revolution. And from my point of view, what I think is that this is one more sign of a deeper change that we are living within our society. At the end of the day, I think that the energy is at the very center, is the very core of the cultural evolution of humankind. There are many historians and anthropologists who say that. And I think that now we are living a critical moment due to technological push, which is being combined with market push of our way of living. And in my vision, there are several mega trends working behind the curtains just to move everything forward. When I have to sum them up, I like to say that we are moving from a concept of linear economy to circular economy due to a much more truthful and conscious feeling of sustainability. I think we are also changing our management and investment paradigm. We as engineers probably are used, and as managers are used to deal with the economies of scale. And the world we are facing now is the world of the economies of network. That's to say, the economies of scale from demand side are prevailing over offer side economies in general. And I think this brings a deep change in our way of managing business, and especially in our way of relating with customers. We are going to a much more decentralized world where the customer is taking a much more active role. And this has to do or is related with the third mega trend that I see, that is the shifting from a transactional model within business in general to a much more collaborative one. I think that all these platforms that we see are in the last instance pulled by internet and the changes it's driving to our society. And finally, this puts the customer really in the center. Somehow it's some kind of revolution in this case, because I think for the first time it is possible for the people to be connected in a decentralized way, and probably it's provoking great changes from the technological, from the industrial, from the business, from the social, economic and political point of view. And so I think in a deep sense it's a revolution. From the point of view of management, I'd rather speak of an evolution, because we have a lot of valuable capacities and assets to use.
One of your panelists was saying that utilities face a stark choice, whether to try and seek fossil fuel subsidies or to sort of become the utility of the future. Is it as black and white as that? Or
I think that, and coming back to my previous answer, I think that the main change comes from the customer and comes from the people. We as companies have to reinvent ourselves because the customer is reinventing himself. And during the panel, I put the question over the panel if some of the people present in the meeting room have ever looked at the definition of utility in the dictionary, because I think it's a very interesting thing to do. And I read the definitions that I looked yesterday at my room, which are in English. If you look at the Collins dictionary, a utility is a company that supplies utilities such as gas, electricity, phones, etc. You go to the university, to the classics, and look at the Cambridge dictionary. A utility is a company that supplies something, such as electricity, gas, or water, to the public. Of course, we have to look Oxford. Oxford dictionary says that a utility is a company that supplies, an organization supplying the community with electricity, gas, water, or sewerage. And of course, we cannot forget Wikipedia. Wikipedia says that it is an organization that maintains the infrastructure for a public service, often also providing service using that infrastructure.
Okay.
As you can see,
that the key part?
Yes. As you may say, it's not very clear. I think. So I tried the definition on my own. I think that utilities are corporate machines, platform, if you want to call them that way, that transform two kinds of inputs into one output. The two inputs are big investments, long-term investments in infrastructure, in industrial and network and decentralized, in many cases, assets. And the second input is massive operation. We are very big factories of massive transactions. From the point of view of relation with the customers, which are millions, and from the point of view of field operations. And we use these two inputs to produce one output, which is an essential service for the customer. A service that is so valuable that is perceived as essential. I think that if you look at these 3 points, you can imagine the challenge that technology and the evolution of the culture in general is posing over the model of utility, because probably we are facing new asset bases, decentralized and based in different technologies such as PV or storage. We are also facing a new way of doing the operations, because the interface man-machine is changing very rapidly with technologies such as drones, augmented and virtual reality, and of course artificial intelligence. And finally, we are also, due to internet, we are changing our relation with the customers because it's much more open nowadays. And finally, the IT evolution the IT and the TICs, commoditization and electronics, is so fast that we need to be able to integrate, seamless integrate an hybrid model for the transactional IT legacy systems and for the new OTT application and platforms that offer so much value. So we have to reinvent, and we have to reinvent not only our assets and our way of doing the operation, but what is more critical, we have to reinvent our corporate role and our human role from the point of view of people and talent and even our behavior and relationship with the customers and with the community in general. So I think it's a beautiful challenge.
Yeah. So you obviously have a very good idea of what's needed. I mean, how are you applying that within your own utility, within Gas Natural Fenosa?
We try to do it in the best possible way because I think that the utility of the future will be that one which is able to be flexible and to manage the business the most effective in the most effective way, and we try to do it taking value of our knowledge and of our assets, which are not the physical assets. I think we are the oldest stock company in Spain. We have been living as company for more than 170 years.
Okay.
So that means not that we are an old lady, but that we are a lady that has been able to reinvent herself over generations and generations of managers and people within the company. And so we are trying just to base it on our values and on our capacities to build this new approach to the concept of utility. We are also one of the largest integrated gas and electricity operator in Europe and in America, and I think that for us it makes it possible to have complementary abilities and differential abilities to have in a well position to face this big challenge.
Yes, and just to wrap up, what would be your best piece of advice to a fellow?
Sorry?
Your best piece of advice to a fellow CTO? What would that be?
I think that the best advice is to have an open mind and to try to build a relationship with all the community, the stakeholders, with, of course, technology providers, other companies. I think that the richest approach to this kind of role is to be really open and to try to get value from everybody.
Thank you, Blanca.
Thank you.
For
You're
joining
welcome.
us.
Thank you.
Please catch more interviews on the Engerati YouTube channel. Thank you.